What's going on, everybody? So I found this on Reddit, which is actually insanely important information going forward because when I saw this, I had no idea this was in the game. Most people, well, in fact, everyone was time gated for this activity. There was a couple ways you can get additional scoria, like through some random battle pass. I believe there's like 10 or 15 in there, which I haven't purchased in a while. But as you could see behind me, the Helliquary upgrades seem to be capped at level 35. Now, this is super important to know because assuming they don't increase the amount of bosses or assuming they don't level up the level cap, there's no rush, which is completely different from what we thought previously. Now, what's interesting about this as well is that I thought this was kind of funny, is that the game still thinks that you suck at your Helliquary. That was what the Reddit post about. I'll leave this in the link in the description down below, but they still say you suck for having maxed out Helliquary, which is pretty funny. But more importantly, again, because it has a max, this kind of changes the overall progression scheme in the future. And I want to talk about the update and potential changes that this has. But first, some of the comments here. This is people are like, this is disappointing, and I completely agree. Where'd you get the scoring from? I'm at 350 of 700 required for level 35, and I missed one when it would have gotten me 40 or 50. About Prodigy's Path and every battle pass. They said they've been carried on Izalek 3, so that the new boss, and eventually they could do it themselves. This is definitely someone who's grinded the game extensively, because I think I've missed 2 rounds of Helliquary bosses, and I'm on level 33, almost 34. Like, I'm very close to 34. Like, one more round of bosses and I'll be there. But granted, I have not beat the highest stage ever. I haven't gotten carried. Pretty much myself and my warband has been consistently beating whatever difficulty we could acquire at the time. We didn't look for carries outside of that. Not because, there's nothing wrong with it, just because it's a little inconvenient to go find someone that can help carry you. But also, there is that battle pass extra scoria here for people that are looking for that. But you can see here, a lot of other people, silly me for thinking you could be able to upgrade Helliquary indefinitely. Like everything else in the game, there's a cap. I'm guessing hoarding spare scoria becomes useless as future upgrades to Helliquary will probably be gated behind some new material. And this is actually super interesting because I'm kind of on the same thought process as this person. I was kind of hoping that you would be able to upgrade this Helliquary indefinitely because, one, it would be kind of a fun and interesting way for people who are free to play, because a lot of free to play players are in the same position I am. Right? If you've been playing since day one, it doesn't matter if you spent money or you're free to play. You could have done the same raids as everyone else, as long as you had a server that was helpful or a group that had spent a little bit of money, because of course you get more combat ready from spending money. And I had spent money, and I was a mega grinder for a while there. So I'm a little sad that they have this cap. It's not surprising to me because, well, as we found, set item upgrades are capped. Challenge drifts are at level 200. We have now Helliquaries are capped. The level cap has a cap. Every day goes up by 2. You have all these different things that are capped. And it's just like, wow. Well, that's not a big surprise, but it's definitely disappointing. And then also the second thing is, I'm guessing hoarding spare scoria becomes useless as future upgrades to Helliquary will probably be gated behind some new material. And this is something that I agree with. Unfortunately, based on some of the data mines that we found in the game, already the gear upgrades that we are acquiring going forward, well, it's going to require a different resource. Now, there's not to say that you won't be able to use the resource that you've saved up, but one thing's for sure is that you won't be able to make any upgrades without acquiring this new resource. Potentially, the way it might work is we could have Scoria being used as a secondary resource, and then in order to upgrade, we need that primary new resource. But most likely, we'll have a surplus of Scoria and then a kind of shortage of whatever the new material is. It's kind of awkward. And then what's interesting is this person responded, which actually is an interesting perspective. There should be a cap. As they add features like Castle Defense, Purge the Depths, they have to let us finish others. If not, after a couple years, you'd have 3-hour to-do list before you could even start farming. The same few raids over and over again for CRB, which is not exactly inspiring gameplay. I'd be glad if it stays capped at 35. So actually, this is a really, really nice counterpoint. And I'm glad that both of these guys said something, because I think that Critical Path here has a really interesting perspective, or at least a very common perspective, and that I think is absolutely true. for the most part, in terms of having a new resource for future upgrades, and how it's kind of sad to see that you won't be able to upgrade the Helliquary. And I think that does affect free-to-plays the most. But also, this guy also has a really good point in that it's kind of nice that they're limiting certain activities in terms of you don't get anything from doing it because, well, you have a million things to do. The only counterpoint to this, there's a big counterpoint to this, because one of the best ways to get warband activity is to do your Helliquary raids right now. And you have almost no one's capped out their Helliquary or their tableau, their ancestral tableau. I'm about 1/5 of the way there, and I don't even have a lot of insane legendary items in there. If you get really insane legendary items, they can be super, super impressive stats. So some people have insane legendaries and they're upgrading their Helliquary or their tableau. I keep saying Helliquary, but they upgrade their tableau and they get a lot of combat rating from there. And because you're doing your Helliquary already, you're getting progress for your tableau and your Helliquary, and you're still going to be doing your warband raids because why? Well, it's the best way to get warband activity. It's the fastest way to get warband activity. So you're still going to be doing it, but now you just get one less resource, right? And you could say, well, eventually you'll get capped out on the tableau. Maybe you will, but if they keep adding Paragon levels, well, we can keep increasing our tableau. So I don't necessarily agree with their execution. I agree with the thought. I do think that they should be limiting some activities, or at least putting some caps on activities to feel like a finished product, which, and me personally, whenever I'm playing any sort of MMORPG or anything, I like having a goal, accomplishing that goal, and then moving on to another goal. So I actually like that feature. Okay, we capped out Helliquary. We're done with that goal. Let's move on to the next one. I don't like infinitely scaling levels. I don't like continuously increasing the level cap. I like completing a goal, moving on to the next goal. Obviously, some people disagree with that. Some people like their infinite leveling. I personally like that. But the problem with this is that the way they've done it is that all signs point to you wanting to do warband raids anyways for your warband activity, which is kind of unfortunate. So I wish that this was true and that, yeah, I'd love to see older raids become obsolete so I don't have to log in twice a week and spend an hour and then have someone either not show up or AFK, because obviously things happen and then it becomes an hour-long process and it's just like, oh man, like, this is just kind of annoying. I just want to get this done and move on. But with them having the warband activity, you kind of want to do the warband raids anyway. So I don't know. I do think that they could do a lot of cool things with this, and having the maxed out Helliquary, they can have some really, really fun features. Having like a skill tree with the Helliquary. When I first saw the Helliquary, I thought it was you level it up and you have like this progression tree and you can choose which one to follow down and then fight that specific boss. I did not know it was going to be this way. And to be honest, this way is kind of just but a perpetual grind. So for me, I'm happy to see it done. 1. 2, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to continue to do it because I still have to do it for warband activity. And 3, I feel for you free-to-play players out there that are not going to get that regular set of combat rating, because you can see here, if I just log in real quick and show you guys my Helliquary, I'm very close to finishing it. I'll probably have like 3 more weeks or so of doing warband raids, and then I'll be done. That'll be the end of it, right? Because I no longer need to do Helliquary raids. Actually, it might even be less. I'm not even sure how much you get per week after the addition of Izalek 3. I haven't been keeping track of that. But wow, it's taking a little while to load here. Let's jump over to the Helliquary here and then show you mine. So mine's at level 33. You can see here I have 541 scoria, so I'm about 50 away or 60 away from getting up to level 34, and then level 35 is seemingly the final one. You can see the difference in combat rating right now is 430 versus 402, so I'm missing 28 combat rating. If we just look at the warband activity, you can see you get 20 from Lassel, 50 from Vitath, you get 70 from Gorgothra, which is let me just see here. Actually, no, this is not true. You get a certain amount from the actual raids itself. This is the warband one-time completionist. I messed that up. I believe it's a 20 per. I believe it's 100 total per warband run through, because from what I remember on the Scoria, when you actually pick it up off the ground, which is the drop from the actual boss, it's 20 every time. I'm surprised it doesn't tell you here, but I believe it's 20. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below, but I believe it's 20 per boss, which is 100 total. So if it's 700 that I'll need, then I will need to do 7 rounds. So I'll need 8 total because I need 760. And if I need 8 total, that's going to take 4 weeks. So 4 weeks in the future, I'll have it capped. again, if you're buying it from the battle pass and stuff, which I haven't bought a battle pass and I don't even know how long, but that could accelerate the process because you can get 5 here, 5 here. Let's see, there's 10, 15. Wow, there's actually quite a bit. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 35, 50, 55. Well, there's 55 scoria in here. Yeah, if I missed a couple battle passes, you'd be ahead a couple of weeks on me, to be honest. Because I've missed, I think this, what is this, the 6th battle pass? Season 7. Yeah, so I've missed 5 or 4 battle passes so far, which would put me behind about 220 scoria, which is quite significant. So yeah, I'm behind about a week and a little bit more than that on just scoria from there. So I don't know. It's going to be completed soon, and with all that upgrades, I'm going to be done with the Helliquary, which is again a little unfortunate. Little bonuses to it. I wonder what they're going to do in the future. Let me know what your predictions are in the future for this next update. I wonder if this next update will change anything for us. I'll be completing Challenger of 200 hopefully here soon. We'll see. I see a lot of people thinking that I can't do it, but I think I'll have a good chance of doing it. We'll see. I'm definitely going to try, and I'll probably put out a video if I am able to do it. But I know a lot of people are very skeptical, but I don't know. I think I could do it. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed, be sure to like the video, sub to the channel. I know I did a little bit of rambling out that end there, but I wanted to mention Helliquary because I know a lot of people are stressing out over it. And if it truly is capped like this, even if they added a new resource, that new resource will probably be capped as well in the future. And, well, that new resource is probably not going to be used as the previous upgrades, and you'll probably have a surplus of the old scoria. So there isn't really a crazy rush. If you're missing a week, don't worry about it because it's capped. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.